Yes, sir.
Josh Dawson from the Washington Post. A number of the speakers last night talked about Project 2025, including one who brought up on stage and read from it. What do you think of the focus on that? Do you think that's a problem for the president? Why do you think they're talking about that so much?
It's not a problem for the president because the president's already on the record saying he has nothing to do with it. He has nothing to do with it. It's not on the campaign website for Donald J. Trump talking about what he's going to do. And let's be very clear. From the first Trump administration, when he was running in 2016, he laid out a couple of things that he was going to do. And he did them. So their focus on Project 2025 is insanity because they have nothing to run on. So they need to get a new boogeyman. It's unfortunate that campaigns do this, where they rely on boogeymen in order to scare people. But look, you have think tanks all across Washington, D.C. You have the Heritage Foundation. You also have the Center for American Progress. They're a think tank, too. And they come up with policy ideas, too. Just the Center for American Progress, their policy ideas are terrible. And they don't work. But they do it, too. And I'm quite sure that a prospective, because she's going to lose, but a prospective Harris administration will go to the Center of American Progress looking for policy ideas. The reality is, hold on, I'm going to say this. The reality is Project 2025 has no affiliation with the president's campaign or with what the president's ideas are going to be when it comes to getting our economy back on track and fixing our nation. And so the only person who seems to be wanting to rely on outside organizations for policy ideas is Kamala Harris, because she had to take no tax on tips from Donald Trump.
Yeah, I was talking to some Biden folks yesterday. You say they think the polling shows the more and more people are paying attention to Project 2025, and they think that argument, I guess, is working.
Listen, man, you can try to scare people with a lot of things. That doesn't mean it's a reality. Project 2025 is not going to fix inflation in this country. Donald Trump will. That's my message to the DNC. All right, last question. Yes, ma'am.
More broadly, a little bit on messaging. Obviously, the president is all over the country this week in a number of battlegrounds. Comes as a lot of the newer polls are super, super tight. What do you think the messaging from the president needs to be on the trail this week? What are you looking for to be say, hey, that's the winning message, pull away?
I think this election is really a choice election. It's a contrast election, even more so than some others. We have very stark differences with Kamala Harris. And I think it starts with the fact that Donald Trump has been president. And when he was president, everybody was thriving. By race, by economic category, you were thriving under his presidency. Kamala Harris wants to go back to Soviet-style price control policy, which does not work. It has never worked. Meanwhile, Donald Trump wants to lower regulations and cut taxes so the American people can thrive. Kamala Harris wants a wide-open southern border. The reason why I know this is because she's currently the border czar and she's done nothing to secure the southern border. She hasn't even been. She went to El Paso and hung out for about an hour, then got back on Air Force Two and went on to California. Me, member of Congress, I've been to the border 5 times, the actual border. I've been in one of the gunboats on the Rio Grande, gone up and down the Rio Grande River. I know exactly what's going on, and I'm a second-term member of Congress. The sitting vice president took no initiative to actually get to understand all the dynamics of our border policy. Donald Trump will secure this border because he already did it once. And then foreign policy. There are 2 conflicts on the globe right now that have a true potential of turning into World War III. Who do the American people trust to bring these conflicts to an end? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? Kamala Harris has been sitting right next to Joe Biden. She was the last person in the room when we left Afghanistan, one of the worst, if not the worst withdrawal, from a foreign battlefield in the history of our country. When Donald Trump was president of the United States, peace was breaking out in the Middle East. There were no new conflicts. He was ending wars. He was taking care of our brave soldiers, making sure that they weren't put into harm's way unnecessarily. Our adversaries knew that he meant business. So I'd ask the American people, who do you trust to go and negotiate with Putin and Xi Jinping? Donald Trump or Kamala Harris? This is a contrast election. It's a stark election, but the choice is very, very clear. My own personal, and I'll leave it here, It's relative whether it's Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. Now it's Kamala Harris. You have the 45th administration and the 46th administration. Who did a better job? Who did a better job? And it's without a doubt, by any measure, that the presidency of Donald Trump was a significantly better job than under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And that's not me saying it. That's public polling saying it on every issue that actually matters, not the boogeyman issues brought up by the Democrats. Thank you, guys. Take it easy.
Thank you, Congressman.